So today we have arrived back in Shrewsbury to BBC Radio Shropshire Studios, which is where we all began 18 months ago, and they've invited us back to give them a little bit of an update on our travels.
Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free.
And the great thing about radio is you don't need to worry about your hair.
Absolutely.
Or in your PJs. You can be in your PJs and nobody cares. Hello, is it Chris and Marianne? Nice to meet you, my name's Chloe, I work on
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. Do you want a drink or anything while you're waiting? I'm alright, thank you.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, no, we're all good. Do you
We're
want to take a seat? No worries. And I'll come out and get you a bit closer to the time.
Beautiful.
What
Thank
time
you.
is it? Are we supposed to be? We've got you down on the script for 5:38.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Thank you. So apparently we're on the air at 5:38-ish. So we're just hanging out in the waiting area, waiting to be called in. Hello again.
Do any more questions? Do you remember last time I came? You involved me in a quiz.
How are you?
Oh yes, yes. Have you ever dreamed of selling up, heading off around the world? This is exactly what Chris and Marianne Fisher of Great Bonus decided to do. That
We started 18 months ago after a midlife crisis of high proportion. It all came about, I lost a couple of friends in their mid-40s. Marianne amazingly donated a kidney to her best friend, and it made us stop and realise that we weren't going to live forever, and there was more to life than doing the 9-5 grind.
If you were given 5 years to live, would you be living the life you are now? And if the answer's no, you need to do something about it.
There's quite a commitment to one another in there. You know, it's
We're
quite,
lucky.
it's
We
quite
get
cozy,
on.
isn't
We
it?
get on very
we
well.
are sickeningly
we-
and disgustingly good friends. I'm sorry, buckets out, everybody. I literally love him.
Yeah, we tend to do the we do something called the Trudy Shuffle. So rather than saying "get out the way," we just look at each other and say "Trudy Shuffle," and then we kind of do a crazy little dance out the way.
You can't see this at the other end of this radio, but I'm going to show Ryan. It's sort of like this. We do a little dance.
I've seen that move on Strictly.
Oh, there you go. We set ourselves a challenge to try and visit every country in the world before we die or die trying, in either the van or with a backpack. So we thought we'd take advantage of the backpacking in the cold weather of January, and we jumped on a plane, headed to Costa Rica, and spent 5 months going around every single country in Central America. And all the places that they sort of say, you know, they're a bit dangerous, don't go, but we had no problems whatsoever.
The El Salvadorians for us, the El Salvadorians. In fact, they nicknamed us the Britadorans.
Well, we're doing something really nuts, actually. So we, not that what we're doing isn't nuts already. In January, we are leaving, hopefully the first Saturday in January, in Trudy, our van, to literally drive around the world. It's 20 months. It sounds easy when I say it that quick.
We'll see you in 20 months. Have a nice time. I know you're battling with visas at the moment, trying to get all the paperwork and the boring stuff.
Simple things that you just wouldn't even think of. You have to try and research, but you can't be too organised, which is against everything I am, because I'm the most organised person.
Well, keep us posted. Thank you very much for the update.
You're welcome, and thank you for having us.
No problem. If you want to find out more about what Chris and Marianne are doing, it is treadtheglobe.com to find out all there is, and that will bring you links to their YouTube channel and everything.
So there you go, the interview is done. We were in there for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and we never have a problem talking. In fact, we normally talk far too much, and you can always see the DJs kicking us under the table, trying to get rid of us. So yeah, brilliant. Yesterday we dropped Trudy off to GGS to get new springs and suspension, and they've just called us. They kept her all day yesterday, and they've just called us to say that there's some problem with the wiring behind the dashboard. So Simon is coming to pick us up so we can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was very strange. We actually had to sleep in the house last night, and I kept waking up because it was so quiet.
Yeah, it's definitely noisier in the van with the wind and the rain.
Yeah. I kept waking up feeling like I was in a box or something, like a soundproof box. It was very bizarre.
So we're back at the garage, and it's interesting, when they popped the dashboard, they noticed that there is a one loose wire, which is definitely part of the reversing camera. So we're not sure where that wire is supposed to go.
There's also a few bare wires.
There is a few bare wires. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop it while it's open. We're going to pop it down to see Martin at Be Smart Leisure and just get his expert advice on what we should do, where that green wire goes, and do we need to tape up the other wires. It's also been really interesting because all on the previous video where we were measuring the van to see whether she fits in a container, with the new springs that they've put on, the back is actually definitely higher, and the van actually slopes forward. Now that is brilliant for off-roading or bumpy roads, that she's going to be well supported, but we might have to remeasure her to see whether she still fits in a container.
It turns out that the springs that were on her before, it was a single lot of springs, and it was just they were really light. So it's great. We've got really substantial springs now for this long and bumpy ride, but who knows?
It's just that, yeah, it's that green one.
Right,
I think that
should
was
be connected to that. That's your reverse light wire. But nobody soldered it in when they put the camera system in.
Oh, so that is supposed to be
They
connected
did that
to
one.
that?
Yes, it's supposed to be connected to that, and they've stripped that to test it. It's got to be redone.
Oh, right, okay.
It has got to be redone, this, I'm afraid to say.
Okay. What a day. We decided to have the shocks and the springs changed on Trudy because obviously she's going to be doing something a little bit more adventurous, really. And oh, I've got the windscreen wipers on as well. And so we've gone to pick her up, and she's actually taller now, which is something that we were not expecting. Quite rightly, I said to the guys, get the best springs, put those springs and shocks on, get her the best. So they have, and it's actually made her taller. So I'm now really nervous that we don't get her in the container. So for the record, there are two types of springs. You've got springs for camper vans that don't carry as much weight, and you've got springs for vans, delivery vans, and Trudy is now a delivery van. So we're going to have to remeasure her, and it slightly terrifies me that we had a plan and the plan is now not going to work. So yeah, a bit sad. I feel really a bit stressed now, and I don't normally do stress, but anyway, we will work around it, and I just thought I'm going to share my disappointment.
It's Friday night, we've come back down to GGS, and the guys, Tez and Mike, are very kindly working this evening to make a start on treating the rust on Trudy, which you can see she's going up on the ramp behind me.
So we've got some new bits, and Tez is going to cut all the old stuff away, and then we'll know a little bit more. That's the plan.
Put this out, put some new stuff in, so it's going to look nice.
Trudy's going to look all beautiful for Australia. So actually I'm really pleased we've done this exercise because Trudy actually has a little bit more rust than we thought, and if we didn't treat her now, and actually if Tez didn't really cut back and really clean it all away, it could in the future shorten her lifespan. So yeah, needs doing.
So it's all going according to plan. Tez has cut out all of the rust and sanded it all back to good metal. And he's just measuring up the new sill behind us before he starts welding it back on. All looking good, Tez?
It's all good.
All good.
It's 8 o'clock at night. Tez has been on it for a good 2 hours now, and he's doing a fabulous job. And there's like little tiny cracks, but we're not taking any chances that it's not done properly, and Tez is cutting right back. So, good job, Tez!
So it's 10 o'clock at night now. And Tez is still working, isn't he a legend?
He is a legend.
Hey?
He is a legend, and he's just making Trudy all nice and smooth and lovely.
Tez, mate, you're a legend.
Thanks. Need a beer now though.
Need a beer now.
Is it beer o'clock?
I reckon so.
It is actually a Friday night, and he's still working hard.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday
And
night.
he gets to spend his Friday night with Chris and Marianne.
No, with Trudy.
With Trudy. It's the date
Does your
night.
wife know?
I don't think she'll tell her.
Because we finished so late and we are up bright and early tomorrow to come back to the garage, we've decided we're going to sleep at the garage so that we're all ready for more welding in the morning. So we are going to bed ready for another fun-filled day tomorrow.
I've got cold feet.
You have got very cold feet. So good night, we'll see you in the morning.
Nighty night.
So we've woken up bright and early this morning. It's like 7 o'clock. Marianne's just moving the van because Simon needed to get the recovery lorry out. I think he needed to pick somebody up.
Barney! Where do you want me? Shall I go back there? Okay.
Morning, boys.
How are you? Morning. You just woke up, have you? Look at these, look at these. See, it's 10. Oi, one, they've just woke up. Look, just woke up.
Watching telly?
Oh, any
That doesn't work, Tez, just because you've turned up. We filmed at 7 o'clock this morning.
Did you enjoy your breakfast?
It was amazing.
It was definitely different and nice, yeah.
We made them pizza.
We're calling it flatbread, cheesy flatbread.
Cheesy
Yeah,
flatbread.
cheesy flatbread.
With seedy things on.
The seedy things.
I was going to say anchovies, but it wasn't.
No.
I don't know what it was.
Capers.
Capers.
Capers, onion, tomato and cheese.
Amazing.
That's good. Made us work so hard.
We
this
made
morning.
pita bread pizzas, homemade
Look,
this
look,
morning.
look. See, I even come
Oh,
prepared.
look,
Prepared,
he's
look.
got the Tread Team shirt. Nice shirt, Tez.
So I've just come out to show you, Tez is still hard at work, and he's now sanding down all the coating that he put on to smooth it all over.
Fit this and supplied us with this snorkel. It is a safari snorkel and it is really well made. When you're off-road, that the van is kicking up, being pulled into your engine, so this is a really good addition.
If we come to water, just actually take that off. So that water doesn't go in there.
Because as much as water, that's also going to get all the dust if you're following a vehicle in dusty terrain.
Yeah, but that's why I want the snorkel.
Yeah.
It's all about the dust.
But if I would just take that off and put a cone filter on the end of there.
So this morning we're going to start on the other side where we've got a bit of rust, and Tez is going to do the same, cut it out and treat it.
So, springs, to spring or not to spring? That is the question. These are our new springs and shocks. These are the guilty partners of why we can't get Trudy into a container. What are we going to do about it then? The extra adage of having these really good solid springs means that on some of the roads that we go on, she'll actually be more protected, but that has to be weighed against the cost in going into the container. So we're in a little bit of a dilemma, but I thought I'd share the springs with you whilst Trudy's up and we're doing the rust treatment. Yes, Tez has done a fantastic job, and now he's going to put this special stuff on. What's it called, Tez?
Stone guard.
Stone guard.
Yeah.
To protect, it makes it a little bit hard, like rock hard and protective, and then they're going to clean it all up so it all ties in beautifully.
So the guys are doing a fab job of taping up Trudy, getting her ready for the spray.
Trudy is very comfortable in this garage. She feels very much at home. It's because she's spending a lot of time here getting prepped for the big trip. We are super lucky to have Mike and Tez and Simon, and now Callum as our friends who have been helping us with the work on Trudy.
It's 7 o'clock at night. We've just got back to Tread HQ at Marianne's dad's house. Picked up a bit of shopping on the way.
Yeah.
And those guys worked so hard this weekend to get Trudy ready. So phase 1 done, and it's looking beautiful.
It really is. We are so grateful to them. They've given up their weekend.
Absolutely.
Really
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
you. The plan.
Right, so what's the plan, Tez?
What's the plan, Tez?
Chop all this out.
Cut.
That's not a plan for tonight, right? That's the overall plan for the year.
That's a life plan.
It's a diet plan.
This is not a diet plan. This is a camper van plan.
So it's Friday night. Actually, no, I'm not starting with bloody so again. Right.
Both.
We're all having a go at the welding because then we've all contributed.
I wouldn't say thanks if I were
Not
you.
getting yourself a free t-shirt, mate. Give it a little bit of a clean, because I'm feeling a bit animal here with it.
Bit of an animal. Tez admitted he's a bit of an animal.